Hello and welcome to Firstpost Spotlight, where we bring you stories that matter to you from all across the world. From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, we shed light on issues that shape our world. I'm Alison Lagrange, live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin with the top headlines. Israel says it struck the airport in Yemen's capital Sana'a in response to Houthi missile firings a day before. The Netanyahu government claims the rebels used the airport for anti-Israel activities. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky proposes a trilateral summit with Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, while urging Washington to hit Moscow with another package of economic sanctions to force the end of the ongoing war. Brazil seeks over $45 million in damages from Chinese electric vehicle giant BYD and two of its contractors, accusing them of human trafficking and slavery-like conditions at a construction site in Bahia State. Australia approves a 40-year extension to a major liquefied gas plant, brushing off protests from Pacific Island neighbours, fearful it will inflame climate damage. And Malaysia's economy minister resigns from his post after losing his position as deputy leader of the ruling party to Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's daughter, Nurul Anwar. Hello and welcome. Political uncertainty continues to grip Bangladesh as pressure mounts on the interim government to deliver a clear timeline for national elections. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party, or the BNP, led by former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, is turning up the heat on Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus, demanding an unequivocal commitment to elections by December of this year. The BNP has openly criticized Yunus for his continued silence, warning that public trust is rapidly eroding. The BNP says that the people of Bangladesh are waiting for a firm assurance on elections from Muhammad Yunus, and that the interim leader's silence only adds to the prevailing mistrust. BNP's scathing response comes after Yunus held a meeting with Bangladeshi politicians, including the student leaders who led last year's protests against former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government. Yunus aides later told media that the country will hold elections between December of 2025 to June of 2026. But Bangladeshi political parties, including the BNP, want the elections to be held by or before December of 2025. Even as the uproar grows in Bangladesh for early elections, the interim leader Yunus is scheduled to depart for Japan from the 28th to the 30th of May for an official visit. During his trip, Bangladesh is expected to sign two significant loan agreements with Japan, a move criticized by the opposition as misplaced priority at a time of national crisis. The crisis is marked with Yunus swiftly dismantling former Prime Minister Hasina Awami League and jailing multiple former ministers on charges such as crimes against humanity. A formal ban on the Awami League was imposed earlier this month. Now, in the past few days, the streets of Dhaka have been flooded with protests from rival political camps to trade unions and civil pressure groups, all pushing competing agendas, yet united in demanding accountability and clarity.
We, the injured from the movement, have come here to stand with the students because the government officials sitting in the secretariat are engaging in corruption. We are demanding that they be removed to create a better and fair environment in the secretariat.
With 170 million Bangladeshi citizens caught in the crossfire of political uncertainty, the clock is ticking. With patience of political parties, including that of the BNP, running out, Bangladesh remains at the crossroads of democratic restoration and deeper instability. And keeping our focus on the Indian subcontinent, Bangladesh under interim leader Muhammad Yunus has announced the revival of a long-dormant airbase which is not far from its border with India. The Lal Monerad Airbase, located in Bangladesh's Rangpur division, sits just 20 kilometers from the Indian border. This World War II-era facility lies in close proximity to the strategically crucial Siliguri corridor, a 22-kilometer-wide land strip that connects India's 7 northeastern states to the rest of the country. The revival of the airbase could also extend strategic oversight over the highly sensitive Daklam Tri-Junction, where the borders of India, Bhutan and China collide. Now, Bangladesh's military has responded to the reports claiming a possible Chinese role in the revival of the base. The armed forces stated that the airport is being reactivated to meet national needs. They claim that there is no information regarding Chinese Chinese involvement. The military claimed that no foreign entity will be allowed to operate in a manner that compromises Bangladesh's security or national interest. And while Dhaka has neither confirmed nor denied Beijing's involvement, New Delhi has begun moving its own pieces on the strategic chessboard. India is considering reviving a long-abandoned airport-cum-airbase near its border with Bangladesh. India is expected to take initiatives to revive the Kailashaha airport in Tripura state. The civilian airport, after potential revival, could also double up as a wartime facility for the Air Force, the kind of which played a critical role in the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. It was from here, in Tripura, that Bangladeshi resistance units launched operations against Pakistani forces inside what was then East Pakistan, ending in Bangladesh's independence from Islamabad's rule. Now, earlier this week, a high-level team from the Airports Authority of India conducted a detailed survey of the site and the surrounding areas. The feasibility check included infrastructural assessments, land availability reviews, and analysis of operational challenges. 2 old air bases, 2 nations, and 1 region that's suddenly buzzing with strategic noise. India's often overlooked northeast has become ground zero for a fresh round of geopolitical recalibration, triggered in no small part by Sheikh Hasina's ouster last year. The runways on these abandoned airports may be rusty, but it's clear that the geopolitical engines in the subcontinent will continue to roar. And moving on, let's shift our focus now to the United States, where yet another radical move by the Trump administration has sent shockwaves through the international students community. The Trump administration has ordered U.S. missions abroad to halt the scheduling of new student and exchange visitor visa appointments. This move comes as the State Department prepares to implement expanded social media vetting for foreign student applicants. This move is bound to give a severe blow to the study abroad ambitions of scores of Indian students who aspire to pursue their education in America. India is one of the largest sources of international students in the U.S. However, Trump's crackdown on immigration has significantly impacted the number of Indian students being enrolled in American institutions. According to what was presented in the Indian Parliament earlier, the United States witnessed a 12.9% drop in Indian students enrolling in American institutions, with over 200,000 Indian students enrolling in the year 2024 compared to nearly 235,000 in the year 2023. Now, the suspension of visa interviews and the introduction of stringent social media checks have raised concerns among prospective students and their families. According to a report by the Department of Homeland Security, foreign students collectively pursued more than 1.3 million degrees in higher education in 2023. Visiting professors from abroad will also be affected by these new restrictions. Now, reports indicate that while existing appointments will proceed as planned. Any available slots not yet booked should be removed. This decision is unfolding against a backdrop of increasing scrutiny of foreign students under the Trump administration's hardline immigration agenda. Yesterday, hundreds of students and faculty at Harvard University protested these policies. Protesters also condemned Trump administration's efforts to cut off funding and to revoke the university's ability to enroll international students. The State Department spokesperson, Tammy Bruce, addressed the issue, stating that the US will use every tool to vet those seeking entry. This decision has also sparked concerns about free speech. Trump administration officials have indicated that student visas and green card holders could face deportation for supporting Palestinians or criticizing Israel's actions in Gaza. Washington has labeled such actions as a threat to U.S. foreign policy. Now, critics argue that this constitutes an attack on First Amendment rights. The impact of Trump's stringent approach on immigration is clearly visible. A study shows that there was a 50% drop in international students researching U.S. options from January to April. Potential applicants increasingly explored alternatives in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. As Trump administration's next move remains unpredictable, the fate of the Indian students who wish to realize their American dream hangs in the balance. And for our last story today, let's turn our attention to the Philippines. Tensions are running high in the country's political landscape as the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte looms. In what seems to be a U-turn by President Marcos Jr., just days before Sara Duterte's impeachment trial, he has now firmly expressed his opposition to the process. The sudden change of stance comes after recent polls indicated that the Duterte family still enjoys high trust ratings among the Filipinos. As per a recent Pulse Asia survey, most of the Filipinos disapproved of jailed former President Rodrigo Duterte's ICC arrest over his war on drugs. Rodrigo Duterte not only contested the latest midterm polls from an ICC prison, but also won the mayoral seat of Davao by a landslide. Now, just like her father, Vice President Sara Duterte also enjoys high trust ratings among the Filipinos. According to the survey conducted between the 6th and the 9th of May, most of the Filipinos did not support Sara Duterte's impeachment trial. 50% of the respondents disagreed with the filing of the impeachment case against Duterte by the House of Representatives. Only 28% agreed with the filing of the impeachment complaint, while 21% remained undecided. Now, disagreement with Duterte's impeachment was highest in her bastion, Mindanao, at 96%, while support was strongest in Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon at 40%. Despite these numbers, key figures in the House of Representatives, like Roger Gutierrez, who is one of the prosecutors in the impeachment trial of Duterte, downplayed the latest survey, saying that public opinion should not dictate the course of a constitutional process. Newly appointed House of Representatives spokesperson, Princesa Bante, also cautioned the public against leaning too heavily on survey results, by citing discrepancies between pre-election polls to actual election outcomes. Meanwhile, President Marcos has firmly rejected calls for his resignation. Allies of the former President Rodrigo Duterte demanded Marcos's resignation after he reshuffled his cabinet to assess performance of each department. Vice President Sara Duterte maintains that due process was not followed during her father's arrest in Manila, and she continues to move between Manila and The Hague, aiming to secure her father Rodrigo Duterte's release. Rodrigo Duterte is currently held by the ICC over his war on drugs. His daughter, the Vice President Sara Duterte, is set to face an impeachment trial soon. which she says has been crafted by the allies of President Marcos. And now President Marcos has opposed the impeachment trial. The coming days will not just be crucial for the Duterte family, but also dictate the next shift in the Philippines' political climate. And that's all we have on the show for today. We will see you again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you.